Good morning, everyone. Josh here with Two Dudes Detailing, and today's quick chat is going to be on a little device called an RCV Universal Remote Control Vacuum Module. So a little history behind what led us to this device. When we do our detailing and stuff, we have, shop vacs, usually use two of them, and we've got the shop vacs drug out next to the car. We got the cords from them, extension cords coming out there to hook to those, and we just end up with a lot of cords and stuff in the way when we're trying to detail. So what we were trying to do is figure out a way to keep the shop vacs in the garage where we wouldn't have to constantly drag them out and put them up and have cords in the way and stuff like that. So what we came up with was, one, we had to buy a longer shop vac hose that would obviously reach out to the driveway from the garage. And then we came across this device here to solve the problem of having to get in and out of the vehicle to always come in the garage and shut the vac off, or turn it on, depending on what we were doing. So what this device is it has this little module here that you plug into the wall right here, and then on the other end of it, it has an outlet that you plug the shop vac into. Once you get that done, you just leave the shop vac on the on position, and then it has a little remote control with it that you might be able to see on the hose back there, and we'll take a closer look here in just a minute. But it has a little remote control that comes with it that you just wrap around the hose. It velcros on there, and it allows you to hit the button to turn on the shop vac, and then you hit the button again to shut it off. This device does also have a little button on the back of it that does the same thing. Not quite for sure what that, how useful that will be in our application, because we're going to be away from this device. But it is there as an option. If if you're in the garage or something and you're closer to this than you are the remote, you can shut it off with that too, I guess. But anyhow, let's go take a look at the hose and the remote control on that, and I'll show you how everything works, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's talk about the business end of this device. Here's the little remote that I was showing you earlier. Basically, all it is just a little transmitter. It sends a signal to the device that's plugged into the wall that the shop vac's plugged into. When you hit that button, it'll allow electricity to flow through that device and turning the shop vac on. When you want to shut it off, you just hit the button again, shuts the shop vac off. This little device is ran off of a little, like a watch battery type thing in there. So we'll see how long those last, and give you an update on that. The only other thing that concerns me about this little device, as far as longevity and whether it'll hold up to the abuse that we put through our tools through whenever we're detailing and stuff, is with this just being, it just feels like a cheap plastic remote, and with it being on the end of the hose that we're constantly, it's either falling on the ground or being drug or something like that. We'll have to see how well this little plastic remote holds up. But as far as functionality, it works pretty good. I'll show you here real quick. You just hit this button once and it's going to turn the shop vac on. When you're done, you just hit the button again and it shuts the shop vac off. So far it worked out pretty good. I was working on a truck and I had this stretched, pretty much 30 foot, which is the length of the hose. And, this thing still had signal to reach the device in the garage and turn power on and off. So far so good. Liking this device. Have to play with the placement on this a little bit, because right now it's kind of in the way of my hand whenever I'm cleaning. So I may just move it back on the hose a little bit, and we'll see how well that works. But so far so good. It works just like it's advertised. It shuts the vacuum on and shuts it off, and that's what we were looking to solve. Like I said before, we had, we would have cords drug out, the shop vacs would be in our way, and it was more of a nuisance than anything. I mean, it worked, but when we were walking around the car, we were always having to walk around cords or stepping on cords, or the vacuums being in the way. This way, it allows us to keep the vacuum in the garage, stationary in one spot, and all we're doing is just dragging the vacuum hose out there, and then that's all that we have in our way. So, serving its purpose so far. Until we get back to detailing vehicles, we'll have to see how well the longevity and how well it holds up, with the abuse and stuff. Using the tools every day and constantly. So we'll provide some feedback on that. But again, this device is made by FastCap. It's an RCV universal shop vac remote. And if you want to check them out, down here at www.fastcap.com. You can go there, read the reviews that people had, check out the pricing and stuff. I believe that we were able to get this, it was like $35, $40, somewhere in that range. Had wonderful reviews on it. Most of the people that use it are in like wood shop applications, with the dust machines and stuff in there. But no reason why it won't work for our application as well. It's pretty much the same thing. It's a shop vac, and that's what it was intended for. Another thing with this device, the old models, you used to have different frequency devices. So if you were running multiple vacuums, in our instance, you would have to buy two separate devices that were on different frequencies in order to run multiple devices. With the new updated model here, it's smart enough in there to know to switch frequencies whenever you have another remote in the area. So you don't need to have to run separate frequencies. You just order two of these things, plug it in, the shop vac will plug in there, and the remotes will work without interfering with one another. So it talks about all that on their site and stuff, and it does give some, goes through some instructions on how to use it, but pretty much what I showed you is what it is. Pretty simple, and it works, and it's cheap. So hopefully it allows us to be a little bit more efficient by not having stuff in the way, trip hazards, and just the constant chaos of having everything in the way. So there you go. Go check it out. Maybe if you're a DIYer that, you're cleaning your own vehicles and you've ran into the same problem of wanting to leave it, the shop back in the garage and just have a hose sitting out there, probably perfect for that application. Like I said, so far it works great for us. Using it in a business setting, our only concern is how well is it going to hold up to all that. If you're just washing your car on the weekend or something, no problem, with this device. I'm sure it will hold up just fine for you. So, anyhow, yep, that was our quick chat for the day. And go check them out at fastcap.com if you're interested. And we will catch you on the next video. See ya.